G'day, we're just going to grab a bite to eat and have some lunch. So while we're doing that, while the cook's cooking up the gourmet snags and bread, let's have a look at the Prado Kakadu. This is the diesel, the top of the range model in the newly released Prado, and it's got pretty much everything you could possibly want in a four-wheel drive on this vehicle. It is a technological marvel, and we'll go through all that as we go through. I think the first thing you need to notice is that actually the styling is very much in the family line with the 200 series, the Prado, and if you look at the back it's almost identical to the RAV4, just slightly bigger. They've really done a good job on this one. Let's look at a couple of details, have a look inside, take it for a drive, have a bit of fun, make your own mind up. Important things for a four-wheel drive, particularly a long wheelbase one like this, is your approach angle, which is about 32 degrees. So you can nudge up to those rocks and head over. It's got a ramp over of 26 degrees and a departure angle of about 25 degrees. As you'll see later, this one's got a tow bar on it that does severely cut down that departure angle. But it also has a ground clearance in standard format of 210mm, which is pretty much par for the course. Although this particular model does have air suspension which pumps it up a bit, as you can see. We've just come off one of the trails. It also has a fording depth of 700mm, which means you can attack those creeks with confidence because it's probably a little bit higher than most vehicles in this range. The particular model also has the KDSS, the kinetic dynamic suspension system, which we'll talk about later on, and a whole host of other electronic traction control, rock crawl gears, etc. And we'll go through all that as we go. Okay, let's have a look inside, see what it's like, and then we'll take it for a drive. First thing you notice when you sit inside the Kakadu is that it is just leather and luxury. Seat very comfortable, multi-adjustable, nice lumbar support, it's electric. Steering wheel itself has height and reach adjustable and electric as well. The other thing is that it's got centre console area there for the satellite navigation. And all of your information that you want in terms of your Bluetooth, calendar, map data, etc. all works well. If we have a look here, you'll be able to see the multi-terrain select. You can choose between mud, loose rock, moguls or rock. And this allows the vehicle to change its driving dynamics depending upon what sort of surface you're driving on, and believe me, it is not a gimmick, it works well. It works almost as well as Land Rover's terrain response system. That's how good it is. So if we select rock, it tells you what to actually do. It tells you put into neutral, select low 4, and away we go. And you will see here on the center display it shows you exactly what is in front of you, and those two yellow lines, that is your wheel placement. That is fantastic because especially in rock conditions the one thing that you never know is where your wheels are. That gives you an exact location of where they are and what you're about to run into or over. The other important thing is this has both centre and rear locking diffs, rock crawl gear. There's really not many places that this vehicle will not go that you would sensibly want to go, particularly with your family on board. The other thing you'll see here is that the camera also allows you, just for normal parking as well, it'll show you where your wheel placement is and what's in front of you, and if we put it into reverse it'll show you exactly what is behind you, and that red line is the perimeter of the vehicle. That's where you should stop, and it'll beep like crazy when you get too close to whatever you've got to go to. So all the electronics work well and make this an exceptionally easy vehicle to drive. Okay, let's have a look in the back. First thing you notice is that the door doesn't open up particularly wide, so it does limit your entry a bit. Again, 6'3", there's reasonable room for my knees and plenty of headroom. There's rear air conditioning vents. In the centre here is a DVD player which drops down, and your controls for your air conditioning, everything there. You've got plug-ins, a 12 volt plug-in here, you've got USB and 3.5mm jack input for any sort of iPod, etc. Let's have a look at the two rearmost seats. As we mentioned earlier, the tow bar on the back does reduce your departure angle quite significantly. You can overcome that by pumping up the air suspension. Good wide opening door, really solid ram there. This is one of the changes that Toyota have made to the Prado, which would actually make me consider buying this particular vehicle. That and the fact that the driving position has changed and you're sitting directly on instead of slightly at an angle. And that is, it has finally got rear folding flat seats instead of folding up to the side, which to be honest was just crap. These are excellent. They fold flat, which gives you a more usable area. Rear seats up, virtually no storage space. Two individual seats. There is enough room for, I'd say, kids up to about 10, and that's about it. I'm not even going to attempt to get in there. Well, here we are sitting inside the Kakadu going for a drive with the Challenge camper trailer on the back, and to be honest, you would not even know it's there. It tows beautifully. It doesn't do any sort of pulling of the car at all. That trailer has an ATM of 1250 kilos, which is well within the 2.5 tonne tow capacity of the Prado. One thing you do notice is, although they've upgraded the motor, and yes, it has got 400 plus Newton meters of torque, it is probably underpowered compared to others in the market, and you always find yourself wanting more power in here. I don't understand why Toyota didn't put in the V8, the detuned V8 that's in the Troop Carrier and that range of vehicles. There's probably a technological reason for it, but I would want more power, particularly compare it to the new Discovery 4, which is where the Kakadu sits now compared to the Discovery 4 with all its technological marvels. And I have to say, the Discovery has a better motor than the Kakadu. Just heading up a bit of a rock shelf at the moment. Kakadu does it with ease, and the trailer just follows wherever we want to go. Well, that's it for Toyota's Prado Kakadu. At around $96,000 on road, it is a lot of money to ask for a four-wheel drive. And yet my suspicion is these are the ones they're probably selling the most of. It's got unbelievable amount of technology in it. If you really need to know it all, go and read a brochure, please, because way too much for me to remember. Handles beautifully off-road. The technology for the four-wheel drive system is first class. Almost as good as, probably as good as the Land Rover Discovery 4. Tows easily, camper trailer, don't even know it's there. If you want a vehicle that you can take off-road with your family, this is ideal. Personally, I'd like a larger motor, I'd like more power, but that's what we've got. I guess you can always chip it. It's a dramatic improvement over the previous vehicle, and for the first time I would actually consider buying a Prado because of some of the changes that have been made. Did we like it? Absolutely. Should you have a look at it? Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.